T-Style Boxing here. You can always check out my previous video, Army Teachers at Schools. The first part. It's a follow-up. 1 week ago, I did that video. Right? 1 week ago. In fact, on February 23rd. So a little, actually, yeah, more than a week. But nonetheless. Okay? Spare me. About a week and a half ago. Since then, there's been a teacher that accidentally shot herself in the restroom. There was a teacher that barricaded themselves and shot a gun in the school. Caused a huge scene. There was another teacher that was exposed as a white supremacist. I mean, she was doing a white nationalist podcast. Unrelated to the gun thing, but kind of isn't unrelated. I mean, that's not the type of person I would want to, have a gun, around my kids. That's for sure. I don't have kids, but hypothetically, if I did. What a terrible, this whole arm the teachers thing this whole thing ain't working out. Okay, it's just terrible. So whether it's a teacher going rogue, whether it's accidental discharge, whatever the case is, and I'll use this for the lack of a better term, unintended consequences, we'll just call it. Okay? A lot of unintended consequences are going to happen if you arm teachers. What a terrible idea. And what a lazy solution to this school shooting problem. So hear me out. First of all, I still contend that arming a teacher is a terrible idea. In my previous video, I go over some scenarios. I could think of others now. Okay, just off the top of my head. Can you picture a teacher here in an AR-15 being fired across the hall? She exits the classroom with their gun. The teacher has their gun. They see somebody run across the hall and they shoot. And it's not the shooter. It's just out of fear they shot, and they shot a kid running away from the person that was shooting the AR-15. That could easily happen. In fact, that's probably more likely to happen than the teacher shooting the person with the AR-15. Now look, I'm not going to say that in no way, shape, or form would there be a scenario where a teacher would save the day. And anybody would want that to happen. But it's just not practical. It's not likely. The best way to guard these kids, okay, is with metal detectors, bulletproof windows, bulletproof doors, alright, and an armed guard, okay, at the only entrance of that school. Schools that have a lot of soft entrances, well, that has to be fixed. Fencing on the schools has to be improved. Okay? Let's call them firewalls. The firewalls that a madman has to go through, or anyone with a gun that shouldn't have a gun in the premises has to go through, right, should be extremely difficult. From fencing, from there being a one entrance that you got to go through, and there's a metal detector, and there's an armed guard there. The windows are bulletproof. That is far more effective than, oh, let's arm the teachers. Far more effective. what I'm saying, does it not make sense? Like, yes, banks are, guarded. Yes. They are. They don't arm, the teller, okay? Well, courthouses are protected. They don't arm like the jury. Like the jury doesn't take weapons into the building. Okay, concerts well guarded in most cases. Not in all cases, but in most cases. Right? Like when I go, I remember I went to go see Metallica in Indio, California, about 7-8 years ago. I believe 2011 it was. The Big Four. Right? Had to go through metal detectors. My bags, everything was checked. And there was armed guards outside. Never felt safer at an event. Nobody there had a gun. They didn't arm, the staff. There was 100,000 people there. Like, they didn't arm the people selling the T-shirts. Okay, they didn't arm, like the Metallica didn't come out with AR-15s across their shoulder in case something went down. Okay, it's that's NFL games. They don't. Their solution isn't like give the refs and coaches guns in case something goes down. Like that's how dumb you guys are sounding. No, they take care of that up front. They make sure no one is armed when they go in. Alright? That's how they handle those situations. So why not do the same thing at a school? It's effective. The only thing is that it costs money. It's a lot cheaper to buy a couple Glocks. And the gun industry will love that. Gun manufacturers, oh yeah, more Glocks. How some of them might be crazy enough to have an AR-15. More guns to make for the gun manufacturers, more profits for them. So sure, yeah, that's an easy solution. Just give teachers guns. Oh, but the well-trained ones. Yeah, I'm sure that white supremacist chick, okay, was well-trained with a gun. I don't think I would want her to have a gun. And for anyone, I mean, if you would feel comfortable with her having a gun in the same classroom with your kids or in the same school as your kids, I mean, that is nuts. What happened to thinking rationally? People are not thinking rationally here. Giving teachers guns is just a much cheaper solution than doing what needs to be done when it comes to metal detectors, bulletproof windows, bulletproof doors. That's going to cost money. But it's worth the money. It would stop a lot of this. It's not going to stop America's gun problem. But it is going to eliminate schools from being a target from these insane individuals who go and shoot up schools. But before we get into a gun debate, and like people are making this a gun debate. No, like this problem could be solved. Now, granted, yes, it's true that if they don't go to a school, they're gonna go somewhere else. That is true. But before we even get into a gun debate and all that, am I not making sense? Am I not making sense? I think I'm making a lot of sense. Which football game would you rather go to? The one where they don't allow you to take guns inside and have metal detectors to make sure no one has a gun in there, or the football game where everybody could take whatever fucking gun they want, and everybody there, while they're drinking and getting drunk, okay, is one idiot away from there being a shootout of 50,000 people in that stadium. Not all scenarios are safer with more guns. That's fucking fantasy world, okay? It's the same with schools. Giving all the teachers and staff and janitors and arm them all. That's not a very good idea. Okay? Maybe not as bad as the stadium scenario because there's no alcohol involved. Right? But it's not a good scenario. Of course the NRA is for this. Sure. Of course they are. But there is a solution to this that we don't even have to dive into a gun debate. Because gun, like pro-gun or anti-gun, there's no, like, look, if you're against an armed guard at the school, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I mean, it's common sense tells me that is necessary, okay? Like the dude that's, there, making sure nobody goes through that metal detector with a gun needs to be armed. Like that's just the way it is, right? But the way I see it, all right, is that there is a solution to this problem. That solution is not being addressed. It's either no guns at all or arm everybody. I mean, holy shit. Just use your common sense. That's all I fucking ask from people. Now, is there something that needs to be done about some of these guns? In my opinion, yes. Okay? There's already an assault rifles ban. And then people want to play stupid, like, oh, these bump stocks, it's not really an assault rifle. All rifles are assault. I mean, it's only assault if you use it to assault. And it's just so stupid, right? But I'm not even going to dive into that. Before we jump into, gun rights and gun debates and all that, there's already a practical way of protecting these kids from insane maniacs. Metal detectors, bulletproof windows, bulletproof doors, good fencing. There's other things, cameras. Okay, I've seen this thing where they can blind a shooter in the hallway, keep him distracted for a good amount of time where he can't see anything. So the way I see it, there's things that we could do that are practical, that can be implemented, but they're going to cost money. The question is it worth, do you think it's worth your money? I mean, we're still spending money in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I mean, instead of spending money on dropping bombs on Syria and killing kids in Syria, right? Maybe we should instead protect our kids here and spend money on that. Plus, it's a good way to create jobs, right? There you go. This is D-Style. I'm out.